direct fighting for more than 30 years. But there's been indirect fighting. For example, we're allies with Hezbollah, and they fought Israel.
So you say that there has been tension in the past, but not like, for example, Israel, who has always fought with Iran, or tension like that.
Well, yeah, Iran never fought directly with Israel.
No, but there's always a tension that exists between the two.
Yeah, there's always tension. But there's always going to be tension as long as you put a country, Yeah. I mean, look at the Middle East. It's all Arabs and Muslims, and then you have one country, and you look at the color of their skin. It's different from all the area. You think, where they come from? I would, you see that something is not right. I mean, tension is bound to happen.
Right. So let's go to the younger Assad, Bashar. He took office after his father's passing in 2000. Under the sun, the economy has still remained state-controlled. You may not see it as state-controlled, but I think the rest of the world describes it as state-controlled. So we have never lived under a state-controlled economy. So if you can give the American people an idea of what a state-controlled economy is.
We do kind of live under state control.
There we go. Okay.
You think we have a free market here?
Yeah,
it's not true.
So I know Americans don't consider themselves living under state control.
No, but you have the Federal Reserve manipulates money supply. You have 40% taxes, and they're going to increase. Government spending, it's not free market. We have on the Economic Freedom Index, we're now number 18. And we're dropping. Where are we headed?
Right. Let's go back to Syria.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's say I want to buy an item. Okay. A toothbrush. Okay. We know in America that when you go look for a toothbrush, you can buy different manufacturers, Johnson & Johnson.
It's like that in Syria too.
Okay. So you have choice of product over
you
there.
have supermarkets, items, everything. It wasn't like that in the beginning. In the 60s, 70s, 80s, it was bad. But later on, he opened everything.
Because he opened the markets up.
Yeah. Now you have products from all over the world, cars, internet, everything.
It seems to be then there's a misconception of the Assad dynasty. And it could be coming from our media here. When they see this dynasty, they see dictatorship, right away it's bad.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're trying to give him this evil look. Okay, so because from what you're saying, from what you're telling me, is that he's opened the markets up. Okay, he's created some freedom. And you mentioned that you have choice of product. How about the health care over there?
Oh, the healthcare. To get healthcare is much cheaper than here. I mean, besides, you do have government-run hospitals, but they're bad. The quality is not good. Most people go to private doctors. It's much easier to become a doctor there. Here, it's like 7 or 8 years to graduate, to go to medical school. But there, it's 4 years, and it's much easier to become a doctor, to open up business. There's no, it's cheaper to get healthcare from a private doctor, and a doctor doesn't have much expenses. It doesn't have a lot of insurance costs. Here, you can sue a doctor, so he has to cover that by charging you more because of what are those laws, like when you sue a doctor?
Oh, yeah, you mean, Yeah, I know, the malpractice.
Malpractice. You don't
Yeah.
have that over there. So they're not, doctors aren't scared to tell you what you need to do. So if they tell you you need this, you know, they're not scared of being sued. So they're gonna tell you to do the right thing. But one thing though, there's more capital here. There's bigger machines, better technology for medicine here. Over there, the doctors are good, but they don't have the technology.
And would you say that's due to the privatization that we had over here?
The private,
Because under the privatization,
mm,
if you had private health insurance, well, it's not, it is private, but you get health insurance through your employer. And the doctors pretty much charge, you know,
yeah, I think because there's more money to be made here, because they can charge so much, you know, more companies would invest here.
so then that's a benefit actually to the health care
I mean, yeah,
over here.
yeah, with technology, yeah, but that's also changing over there. It's becoming better, but still, with technology only. Doctors are better there, but you have more technology.
Over here.
Yeah, with like cancer, for example, you know, you need a lot of machines or, you know, specialized technology. If you have cancer, you're more likely to live here. But on small stuff, it's cheaper and better there.
So then, let's say you in the insurance over there, how is it paid for?
We don't have insurance.
But
Because,
how is the medical compensated for in Syria?
no, if you have something wrong with you, you go to a doctor. There's no insurance because you don't need to buy insurance. Here you buy insurance because the costs are so high. Over there the costs are low, you don't need to.
So did you pay the doctor out of pocket over
Yeah.
there? Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you needed open heart surgery?
Yeah,
What did you do for that?
yeah, there's no insurance. You don't pay monthly insurance. There's no car insurance, there's no house insurance, there's no, if you want something, you pay for it. Because the cost is low.
Wow. We're not used to that over here.
Yeah.
Here you have insurance.
Yeah, here's the regulations. Over there, yeah, you consider it socialism, but you can open up a business in 2 days. It's so much easier to do business. There's no, you know, rules to go by. The government doesn't know anything you're doing. When you do business with another person, here the government knows everything. Everything needs to go through the IRS and town and whatever.
And here, now, I want to tell the viewers that you have to get health insurance.
Mhm.
Now, it's become a mandate, like car insurance. If you don't have that kind of insurance, you're going to have to pay a fine.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Right. Now, talk about dictatorship. Isn't
Yeah.
that infringing upon
Of course.
There you go.
I'm telling you, I mean, I don't know what happened to America. It's sad. This country, I don't know if there's any hope for the future.
Would you consider moving back to Syria?
Yeah. After the war, if the Muslim Brotherhood or Al Qaeda didn't take over the country, there's no Sharia law, I'll move back, of course.
Okay, let's also go to privatization again, okay? Under the Assad dynasty, privatization has occurred in the banking industry. And foreign investments have been encouraged in the oil sector. So a little bit what you're talking about. So let's talk strictly about the economy. And what are some real differences you see in the American economy as opposed to the Syrian economy?
In regards to what? Compared to, what do you want me to compare?
Let me ask you this: were you in Syria when the banks were owned by they were not privatized; they were owned by the government?
To be honest, when I was that young, I came here when I was 10. I don't know much about banks.
So you probably didn't Okay.
but now I know when I go to Syria for vacation, I see many foreign banks and Syrian banks. You know,
So, do they have anything like a Federal Reserve?
we have a central bank. Every country has a central
Okay.
bank, but you know, it's every central bank tries to manipulate the money supply and all that stuff. So.
And, you had talked about choice over there. The American market was founded upon the consumer having choice. You go to the store, see a loaf of bread on a shelf. You can pick which one that you want. And you're saying in Syria, that's the same thing, right?
Yeah, well, you have more choices over there because it's much easier to start a business and manufacture because there's less government regulation. Here, you need to go by 100, rules, and you need to go this approved and that, and it's hard. So only the rich can make it.
Right. So basically, from what I'm getting from you is that it's more controlled over here than in Syria. I'll tell you, back in the '80s, and when I first got a job, and as far as I can remember, I mean, you're right, things have gotten really, the government has grown and the taxes have gone sky high. It's almost impossible to make it here.
America's not the same.
Right. So let's still talk about the market. Did you guys have a lot of restaurants out there, like we have McDonald's?
Oh yeah, there's more restaurants there because it's easier to. You don't have to deal with OSHA and all this, the FDA, and if you have something good to sell, you just open it up and sell it. You don't need permits, licenses. You do whatever you want. Much easier to start a business.
You hear that, America?
When it comes to that, we have real free market. If you have something to sell, you can go on the street and sell it. Nobody has to bother you.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a business there, does the government take taxes?
No income taxes.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but how does the government get compensated for it?
Well, let's say you need to buy a house. You need to do paperwork. So to get that, you have to go through a government to do the signatures and stamps and stuff. So you'd have to pay that. That's how. And plus, they own a lot of the oil in the country. They own some of that, not all of it. They privatized some of it. So, they sell some of that. That's how some of their income comes from. And I think that's pretty much it.
So let's say you run for office, okay? Is that a paid job there?
Over there,
Yeah.
you don't run for an office. There's no.
So you can't run for office.
Yeah, it's not a democracy.
So in other words, I know it's a dictatorship, but how about the locality there? Do they have people in charge of the localities?
Yeah, they're appointed.
They're appointed, but so that's where here in the United States, because we have elected officials.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they are still elected officials. We still have some choice, the voter.
Yeah.
Wow. So, okay, let's say you're appointed over there. Is it paid?
Yeah.
Okay, so they are getting some money. Let's go back to the economy. Have you noticed any rationing?
Where? Over there?
Yeah.
No. I mean, not until the Civil War started, because there's shortages, because of the sanctions, really.
Right. And how about in the healthcare?
Is there
Rationing?
No. If you need a medicine over there, you don't need let's say anti bacterial
Okay,
medicine.
like an antibiotic.
Yeah, here you need a doctor's note, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, over there you don't. And there's pharmacies everywhere. It's cheaper.
Wow.
There's no. There's like 3 doctors on every street there. There's so many doctors.
Wow. Wow. So, back in 2008 and 2009, how did you feel when the USA bailed out the banking industry here?
I mean,
You wanted to, did you want to?
yeah, that's another proof of how you don't have a free market. In the free market, bad businesses fail and good businesses succeed. You know, what kind of, it created a moral hazard. Now you give a sign to banks that you could take as much risk on as you want, and the government will just bail you out.
Wow.
You know, what kind of incentive is that?
Right. So, no, I just mentioned that. And the other thing is, a lot of students that I talk to, especially ones who are not libertarian, think that the Federal Reserve is controlled by the federal government. I guess because
Oh no, it's not this. No.
the word federal is in there,
Yeah,
right?
No, it's controlled by banks. It's owned by banks. The money that the Federal Reserve makes goes to banks.
But it should be audited,
Of course.
right? And that's one thing. Didn't Ron Paul
Mhm.
call for that?
Yeah, and thankfully the House passed the bill to audit the Fed, and we're still waiting on the Senate to pass it. But Harry Reid, I'm guessing he won't put it in front of the Senate to be voted on.
Right. So, okay, let's go to the recent uprising, Syrian uprising. And this uprising happened in relation to the ongoing conflict between the Muslim Brotherhood and the Ba'ath Party. It was also called the Arab Spring. The Syrian government characterizes the uprising as armed terrorist groups and foreign mercenaries. And of course, the American media tends to twist it another way. Do you think that the Syrian government is correct in their analysis?
Oh yeah. Here, anybody who's fighting against a dictator must be a good person, good guy. It's not the case in Syria. You think of these rebels, you think they're like freedom fighters, but these are armed terrorists who don't want to spread Sharia law in the country. And they don't want democracy, they want Sharia law, period. Like I told you, I come from a Christian family. Two of my family members were coming from Lebanon to Aleppo about like 2-3 months ago. And when they were on the bus, the rebels stopped the bus and they kidnapped everybody. They also kidnapped my family members. And 3 days later, they called my family. They wanted £2,300,000 for ransom. My family had to get together, put the money. Point is, this is how the rebels get their money from. They rob, they steal. We also have a Christian village in the mountains. The whole village, we've been there for years. They came, about 1,000 of them. They kicked everyone out. They took over the whole village. I mean, they're savages. People think they're fighting for freedom. They don't know what freedom is.
So they're brainwashed.
Yeah. And this is not, they think, I'm not saying that all Muslims are like that. Many of the Muslims in Syria, many of my Muslim friends, they're not like that. But these are, this idea, this extreme version of Islam that came from Salafism in Saudi Arabia, it wasn't like that. So, this idea destroyed the country.
So some students that I met here, a few at this campus, and a couple around the country have emailed me and said that they have the Muslim Brotherhood on their campus, and they wanted to do things in the United States to spread Sharia law. Can you see that happening here?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, remember, Muslims in general,